Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for joining. I am going to leave this in presentation mode just for right now, and I will invite you to connect in the chat, and then at the very end, I'm going to open it up for Q&A. So this is week one of Media Magic and how to attract limitless publicity, and I'm going to be going through two parts here. One is a number of you attended the Media Magic event, so you have already had a jump start on a lot of what we're going to be covering here in the initial part. And so I'm going to be talking, for those of you that did not make it to Media Magic, some of the beginning and what you can expect over the next 8 weeks. And then I'll do a little more advanced training for those of you that already went through the program and you're ready to get booked now. So go ahead and say hi in the chat room so I know who's here. Would love to connect. Looks like Charlene, Bob, Karen, welcome. And I wanted to also include you or remind you to go to Facebook, because I'm going to be giving you some things as we go along in this initial training to engage. So the first thing in the Media Magic is we want to set our intentions. We want to set a goal. We're going to be spending the next 2 months together, and this is a program that I normally do in 12 weeks. And the feedback that I got is individuals didn't want to wait 12 weeks. They wanted to get it done now. They're ready to get booked now. They're ready to get that publicity. They have an event like Dr. Bob and Charlene coming up where they want to plug in and access the resources right now. So the first thing, and I invite you to say these publicly in the Facebook group under the comments of this video, is what is your intention? If at the end of 8 weeks, this happened for your business, and we would be celebrating huge success, what would that be? Is it a speaking gig? Is it an article in Orlando Sentinel? Be thinking about what that desired is. My intention for you, I have two intentions. My intention is to help you complete your press kit. Help you complete your press kit so that you are ready. You've heard me say part of accessing millions of dollars in free press is being ready to submit that article, being ready to submit your, the speaking gig. Hi, Karen. I'm sorry you can't hear me. It might be your phone. I know that it is. Yeah, it may be the computer that's happening. So in that, I'm not seeing anybody yet, Dawn. I'm just leaving everybody in this presentation mode, and then we'll open it up for Q&A at the end. Okay, so with completing the press kit, that's the first thing. My goal is to help you complete that press kit. And we'll go through those 6 essentials in a minute. And the second thing is getting you booked, having you booked in media, getting speaking gigs, getting on the radio. So those are my 2 intentions. And I hope you include those in your intentions, but would love some more specifics from you. So the first homework is setting your intention and sharing those with us in the Facebook group under the video. It's okay if you share it here now, but be sure to cut and paste and put that in the Facebook group so that I know. The other thing is that today, the other piece of homework is identifying what you have in place for your press kit and what do you need. So let me go through some of the essentials that you want to have. The first thing is your expert power bio. So your expert power bio is what makes you sizzle, what makes you stand out. This is something that to me is essential, and it did a big turnaround in my business because people were able to see who I am, what I've been up to, and what I have accomplished. And so this is key. And I have to tell you that it's what I found after working with hundreds of businesses. One of the most difficult things that people deal with is writing about themselves. So please make this your focus. Let's do the hard work first. And I promise you, you will reap the rewards. So some of you have already have that done, like Don Meyer. I know you've done this before. You have it done. David, you may have it done. If you already have your expert power bio completed, great. I would suggest you go through those 13 questions for your business. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. Now, I see Warner's here. I see Karen's here. Some of you did not attend the Media Magic event, so I will be sure that you get a copy of the 13 questions for your Power Bio, and we'll go through that a little bit more. But the essentials for a press kit, let's get back to that. Your homework is to take an inventory of what you have and what you need. So this week, you're going to take an inventory of what you have and what you need. So the Power Bio, the next thing is articles written about you. Articles where somebody is saying something about you. It could be an ad. It could be something where you're mentioned. Anything that you have where it's been written about you, even if it's not about your current business, please get a link to that. Please get a copy of that. Include that in your press kit, and let's assess if that's going to add value to who you are. I think any media adds value, but find articles that have been written about you. Get those links, get those copies. Articles that you've written. So if there's things that you've contributed, and Dr. Bob and Dr. Lydia, I'm sure that you probably have contributed to medical journals. Or Dr. Lydia, I know it's not law, I don't know the exact term, but things that you have written. So those are things that add that third-party credibility. So identify which ones you have, get the links, and get copies of those. The other items in your press kit are marketing material. Do you have your business card? Do you have your brochures? Are there a speaker sheet? Speaker sheet is another thing, and I think everybody here are speakers and want to be speakers. So let's make sure that if you don't have that done, that let's complete that in this process. And I'm going to do a separate training within the program where I'm just going to, plug it into the group, send it to you, and it'll go through the essentials of the speaker sheet. Yes, interviews about you, TV interviews, television interviews, radio, anything that has featured you in the media, we want to have access to. These are all essentials for your press kit that help you attract more media, but also helps you attract customers. They see who you are, they see what you're up to. And again, I'm going to reiterate this. Even if it has nothing to do with what you're doing right now, we want to have that media put in place. Podcasts do count. Podcasts absolutely count. That is a medium of getting your message out to the masses. So we've got expert Power Bio, media about you, media written by you, marketing materials. Then we also want to look at order forms and what is it that you offer, product forms. Now, we're not going to send this to the TV and radio when you submit information, but for speaking gigs, I personally, and I know other producers, we want a holistic view of who you are and what you offer. So that's going to be key. And I have found in the last 10 years that a big gap that companies have and individuals have is they don't have an order form. They're really not ready to receive the money. And even if you have it on your website, you do need to have a physical form. So that's going to go under order forms and materials. So it could be a list, an inventory of what you offer and your prices, and also an order form so that people can sign up and give you money. So these are another essential. Another item is your press release. And we're going to go into great detail on that. We're going to have a specific training just about that. Some of you learned it in the Media Magic Intensive. If you're like me, repetition helps us learn and do it again. So we will go through that again, and we do want to have that written. If you already have something pretty much done, then great. You're ahead of the game. We're going to be helping you complete that so that we can start submitting it and getting it booked. And then the last thing is action photos. Action photos are essential. They are key. Some of you heard me share the story where when I first cracked this code of free press, I submitted a great article. It was about the miracle healing of healing my arm with Qigong after being paralyzed from a surgery. And it was just a powerful write-up and press release. They loved it. They said, send me your photos. Do you have photos? And I sent a headshot. I thought that's what they wanted. That is not what they wanted. They gave me a little itty bitty article. Once I realized that they like action photos, I was standing in front of a booth, the backdrop of a booth, next to somebody, pointing at a brochure, looking at the flyer. I sent that in. They gave me a quarter page of the picture and a quarter page of the article. So action photos are essential. Part of why we work so closely with Christina Stewart Photography, because she gets high resolution, professional photos. That's what they need. It's not something that you can pull down from your website or anything like that. So yay, I see Heshi said she's been on magazine covers. Yes. Anything that's featured you, even if it's somebody quoting you, if you're in a book, if you're an author in a book, include that. I know a number of you have co-authored books. This is another medium. So this week's homework is listing your inventory. Assess where you're at. Find out where you're at and what's missing. If you can, the next level is putting this on your website. You need to have a media page. It could be called In the Press. If you go to the Business Acceleration Network website, we call it The Buzz. So, Dawn, Star Trek, put them all down. Let us see who you are, because let's just you may not want to put that on your website, yes. Maybe put it in the Facebook so we can look at it. But I found that people do business with people, right? And so we've had a great way of crafting things that may not have something to do with what you're doing right now, and creating a message that helps it connect with your audience and say, yes, I love this person. So the whole idea is getting the inventory and getting all of that down. So awesome. Homework. Thank you, David. All of the inventory of above. Now, if you can, put this on your website. It is so powerful to be able to reference this. Now, as we go along in this process, we're going to put your press releases up there. We're going to put your speaker sheet up there. We're going to put these items up there so that people can access them instantly in what's happening. So this is the first piece of homework: intention, and do an inventory of those 6 essentials and figure out what you need. So I want to talk about the Expert Power Bio, because that is really where we start. This is where I've found it helps people close more deals. It attracts publicity, and it helps to where you don't necessarily have to brag about yourself. People can see who you are and what you're up to. And I know a number of you did the media class, and I got some feedback from you, and some of it was just answering the question. Now, we were just getting you started in Media Magic. The best way to do this is do a complete data dump and get as much down as you can. At least 3 pages. If it's less than 3 pages, it's very challenging for me to work with. I can, but we need at least 3 pages. Some of the best ones I've had have been 10 and 15 pages. So the first step is, let's go through and answer those questions completely. If you can put it into a Google Doc or a Dropbox, then you can share it with the group, and we can start giving you feedback collectively, because the first part is the data dump. The first part is getting as much information down about your past as you can. And if it comes up, it goes down on the paper, even if it doesn't make sense. If it comes up, please put it down and let us help you decide if that's going to be relevant or not. And with that, the second step, but don't do the second step yet unless you've already done the first step. And this is why I want to go through, because some of you are already advanced and have done this. The second step is we're going to go through and we're going to highlight what is significant. We're going to assess and go, where can we add numbers? Where can we name drop? Where can we really add some sizzle to what's here? And we start finding those rubies, those diamonds, those emeralds, those gems in that process is step 2. So we just go through and highlight those from the questions. And then step 3 is we start pulling out those highlights and putting them on a brand new piece of paper and constructing paragraphs. Now, this first version, we're going to create the long version because it's a lot easier to extract introductions to the radio, introductions to speaking gigs, things for your brochures. If we get a full picture, if I get a full picture of who you are and what you're up to, then we're going to be able to go, wow, this has to be in your bio. Oh my goodness, this needs to be in your bio. So please put down anything and everything, even if it doesn't make sense. And remember, numbers are powerful. Numbers are really, really amazing to look at and know. And so this is your time to brag. This is your time to celebrate. This is a time to dig up your past, even if it's something that was in high school. It's like just celebrate who you are and please brag. So if you are already done with your expert power bio and you love it, then I'd like you to go through those 13 questions for your company. But do not, I repeat, do not do this for your company first. This process has to be about you. The power works when you do this process about you first. And you may want to tie in, and there may be things about your company, but please be mindful that the whole idea of this is to do this for you. We are, my goal is to position you as an industry expert and many of you as a celebrity and in many circles. And in order to do that, we need to help your light shine. Now, if you're new to the business, and I'm just trying to see if there's anybody new to the business, I think you all have been doing this for a while, but let me just share this for replays or people that might be coming in a little bit later. If you're new, this is where you can tie in maybe training you've done with other people, maybe organizations you've been a part of. This is where you get to piggyback on some other people's successes. Now, we always, always, always speak the truth. Like the truth is, we're not going to blow anything up that's not true, but you can say student of Jack Canfield or studied with this person or taught at. I mean, be thinking about that particular process. Now, in your expert power bio, I give you power words. And again, I will add these to this group so you can see it. Most of these you got at Media Magic, but I'll make sure that you get a copy of this. The power words are really great to trigger things for your bio. So you'll be looking at things like initiated, created, discovered, and it gives you verbs that really add power to your power bio. So the best way to do the bio is to really write out on a separate piece of paper each of the 13 questions and then start answering it. And if you can look at this every day over the next week for 10 to 15 minutes, you'll find that the process is a lot easier. You'll start thinking about it because it becomes, before you go to bed, you might go, oh my gosh, I forgot that I was on Lifetime television, or as Heshi said, I forgot I was on 5 covers of these different magazines. So I want you to be thinking about that and looking at it every day, giving it some love. That's the homework. Just spend 5 to 15 minutes a day going through those questions. Now, when I send this to you, there's only going to be 12 questions. So you need to write down this 13th question. And the 13th question is present or prior clients of significance. Present or prior clients of significance. And you get to determine that. For example, I've had some people where they worked in a job and one of their clients in that job was Bank of America and Delta. And so they were able to use that this is somebody where they did work for. You may be in our area, Health First is a medical system. Most people may not know who Health First is, but in our area, that's pretty significant. And somebody that if people see you did work for Health First, they're going to pay attention. So you can't have too much here. I'm just going to repeat that. You can't have too little. You can't have too much. So please brag, 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 brag. let your light shine. Let us see who you are, and really contribute to that aspect. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat some of the homework, and I'm going to go into the advanced. If you're here and you've done Media Magic before, you're ready to get going, or you have an urgent need. Like some of you, I know you have a little more bandwidth to do some of the Media Magic. So let's just do a quick recap of the homework for next week. One is do an inventory. Find out where you're at. Find out what you need, and start pulling it together. Like gathering all that information. You've got to take photos and do PDFs, but find out what you have and what you need, and as much as you can get, the better. It could be podcast, radio, TV, action photos. If you've taken photos with you and a celebrity, even grab those, because those show you're out and about, and we may be able to use those. I'm getting all kinds of ideas here. Pull it all together. Let your light shine. If you have the bandwidth, create that in the press page on your website. Get that up. Get that in a central place so that people can start finding it, listening to it. Don Meyer, do you mind putting your link in the chat room so people can see? You've done an excellent job of following this system. And so I would love if you would include that so people can see what that looks like. You can look at ours, businessaccelerationsummit.com/thebuzz, or I think it might be Buzz. And you can see this is a very basic one with links to different articles. And we're going to use that to grow. So set intention, do an inventory. Let's start putting those together so we can add that credibility. And then the last piece of essential homework for this part is your power bio. Maybe you're upgrading it. If you're completing it, this is essential. So spend time this week answering those 13 questions, looking at the power words. Do not try to construct your bio yet unless you've been through part 1 and part 2, and we've said, okay, we've identified them, and now we can move on to part 3. So IamPurpleDawn.com/media. IamPurpleDawn.com/media. Dawn has done a great job of really showcasing all the media she's done. She was in my last 6-month program. We got her in the Sedona Journal. Yes. We also got Marty Ward into Huffington Post. We got her into the local news. So this stuff works. And again, my goal is to get each one of you booked. So now I'm going to talk about the more advanced, because some of you are ready, and then in a few moments I'm going to invite you guys in. We'll go ahead and start. I didn't record this. I'm gonna have to pull it off Facebook. All good, and then we'll open up for questions and close it out that way. So if you have an urgent need with your press kit, and you are doing something where you want to get some media now, or you're ready to speak and want to get out there. So there's a couple of key things that you can start working on. One is developing your media list. Now, each one of you as trailblazers, I have told you that I'm going to share my media list with you. And I'm not going to share it with you today because I don't feel comfortable doing that until I know you're ready. I'm okay sharing, Dr. Bob, I know you're doing something in Orlando. I'm okay sharing some people in Orlando when you get to that place. But you can start pulling together your own media list. What that looks like is an Excel sheet. I love Excel, and I put who, what, when they need things by, where to send it, any information that I can find. And a media list is one of the most valuable things you can have. You know that your database, your contact list is worth money. To me, your media list is worth money. Now, when I share mine with you, we start doing a collaborative media list, and you're going to love this because we're going to start sharing these resources of media lists. But I want you to start creating your media list. And so look at who's on the TV. If you watch TV, if there's a news station that you look at trade magazines. Are there industry magazines that you want to position yourself in? Now you may say, but I'm not going to get my customers from an industry magazine. It doesn't matter. That actually adds third-party credibility when you're trying to get customers. So be thinking about that. I also look at media as conferences and shows. So if there's a event that you want to be speaking at, then include that in your media list. Include where it's at, when it is, when do you have to submit your speaker sheet by. So start thinking about and making that wish list. And those of you that have read the Media Magic book, and I will share that with you too, I have a whole chapter on vision board. And it works in media. I know some of you have heard about vision boards. You put up your car, you put up stuff. For me, you put up, if you want to be in your local news, put up an article with your picture on it or put up a title. Like, start visualizing yourself in these particular places and get clear of ideas of where you want to be. So start developing your media list. It's a huge asset for moving forward. The next part is your press release. And a number of you already started working on your press release. This is a template that is real simple. I'm not going to go into a bunch of detail about that, but if you have a press release and you need to get it done, post it in the group and tag me and let us know. Get our feedback. If you post it in the group, please post it in a Google Doc or a Dropbox in the form that we suggest. And this is going to be for learning. And I'm going to give feedback in the Google, and I'll also give feedback in the comments so everybody can learn. I found that this process, the more you do it, the more you become like you can just bang out press releases fairly quick. But I want to have everybody learning as we're going. So if you have a press release and you have something ready to go, send it in that format. It's essential, because if you send it in a different format or you don't follow instructions of no logos, headline at the very top, double spaced, 3 paragraphs, intro talking about the problem or quoting yourself, if it's not in that format, I will ask you to resubmit it before I start working on it, because the format's really essential. And let's work on getting it done. Once one of you get your press release done, I'm happy to do an early training video on what to say to the media, because I'm going to meet you at whatever rate you're at. And I know there's some beginners, and we're going to accommodate you first. And then we're going to, I know some of you are ready to go. So please utilize this and let's move forward. I am available if you need some extra time that's outside of the Trailblazers. I will severely discount my rate if you need some extra help outside of what we're doing here as a group. You can come to the masterminds and get help. So you could come to Mastermind Monday today from 1 to 2 and get help. You could come to the lunch at my house and get help. You can come to the masterminds on Wednesday and get help. So if this is your primary focus of getting thousands of dollars in free press, then have that be your focus when you come to some of these group things to really help hone it in and get done. Please use the Trailblazers group and ask for feedback there. So I think I've covered the advanced level. I'm going to open it up for questions, but I just want to pause just for a moment and make sure that I have touched on everything. I want one more thing. I wanted to let you know that my vision of Trailblazers and our community is something where I have imagined you getting instant feedback and a place where you feel never alone. And so I want to invite each of you, as you have questions in your business about Media Magic or anything, post them in the Facebook group. Post them there and tag me, tag us so that we can make sure that we see it, because this is, you now have a built-in team. It doesn't mean that everybody has to answer you, but believe me, I know there's people here that they're going to have a few minutes. They're going to say, "Oh, I like this. Let me contribute something." There's individuals that believe that when we give, we get back. So I can't encourage enough to use this community. And if there's questions, like Dr. Bob asked me an incredible question, And at the end, I'm like, this is something I want to teach you, and I want to share with you. He said, Shannon, you have always been great at attracting volunteers. What's your secret? So we did probably a 30-minute training on building a team of volunteers, not only for events, but in your business. So this is something where I'm going to hop on and I'm going to do a training for all of you guys and share that. So if you have questions of things that you need help in your business, put it in the group, because I'll either bring in an expert or I'll do a quick video and I'll tag you and answer those questions to support you. So again, I'm going to reiterate, you are never alone when you're in this community. And all you have to do is ask. Now, you may not get instant feedback, but you're going to get it, and you'll get that support. We've got a remarkable tribe here that can help. So, Dr. B, ways to offer additional paid work with options for free resources. Okay, I'll have to get a little more help with that. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to add all of you guys to the panel now. And I think we're clear on our homework. Next week, let me do this quick and get each of you on here. Yay! It's so nice to see everybody. And Dr. Liddy, yay! But I'm not hearing, so let me make sure. Can somebody speak?
Hi, this is Bob.
Hi, Bob.
Hello.
Hi, you can hear me okay?
Hello.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, BB King.
Karen, you made it awake. Okay, Karen gets a round of applause for being on the West Coast and up so early. Thank you, Karen. I'm working on getting Warner in here. Okay. So now let's go ahead and open it up for questions, comments, and I'm just going to have each of you speak if that's okay. And I'm going to start with Charlene. If I may, Charlene.
Yeah.
I choose you.
So, so what do you want me to speak about exactly?
Any questions, comments, ahas, and I just want to make sure this is really the Q&A, but I just want to hear from each of you.
When I was doing my Power Bio, it was a really interesting experience because I realized that even some of the things that I did when I was very young were significant enough to put in my Power Bio. So when Shannon says put everything in there, I think that's really great advice, Shannon. Right now, I don't have any questions. I'm ready to, take on the homework and look and take an inventory of what we have and get some press releases created for our Advent Celebration Health events that are coming up, because that's really our goal, is to fill those to the max. And so that's where we're at.
Beautiful. Thank you, Charlene. Awesome. All right, Christina.
Hi. I'm really looking forward to getting all of this stuff together. And while you were talking, and you said to kind of leverage a little bit about who we've worked with as a way of, of something to add. I had never thought of, and I've done Media Magic with you forever, like so many times. So that I wrote, oh, my professor was a Pulitzer Prize winning photographer, photojournalist. So I went to Costa Rica with him for a class. I took all the things that he did. I took design classes with him. I took like 4 or 5 classes from him. So he was one of my main mentors. So I was like, oh, I got to put that down. And then the pictures of me with famous people, like I don't have the older stuff because as a photojournalist, we couldn't be fans. We could take their picture because that was our job, but we weren't really supposed to take pictures with them. But I would still include that because that's part of what I do. So other than like the Jack Canfield and things that I've done since, that I'll go and collect. So yeah, so that little bit was another added like, oh yeah, cool, I can add that. So thank you. So I'm looking forward to this.
Okay, thank you. Yay. Don Meyer.
Yeah, I'm starting to scan things in because I have a number of things that are still in hard copy.
And yes, I can pull out my Star Trek photos if you guys really want to see them. With all the different cast members. And go from there. I can't hear you, Shannon. You're muted.
I was going to say, Dawn, you have been a star student. I just want you to know you are so coachable and so like you get it done. And I love that you're back again. I mean, even though you've done this a few times, you're ready for the next one. So we've done Sedona Journal. I can't wait to see your intention of what's in store for the next 60 days.
I found some articles, that they wrote about me when I started working at the Space Center in my hometown newspaper, so I can put those out there too.
Great. Awesome. Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you.
All right, Dr. Bob.
Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. So yeah, regarding collecting all this stuff, I mean, there's so much. I wouldn't even know where to. I've got like 80 scientific publications. I've edited 5 books. I've written, I don't know. It's just like there's so much stuff there. You just want me to put it all together, or I don't know how to even can start with this process.
I would do what you can, Dr. Bob, because I know that you're also looking for funding, right?
Yeah.
And all of that becomes magnetic. And I know it may be overwhelming. Just do what you can and give it the attention that you can. And if it's easy, it'll come, right? If it's I saw your CV, and I've worked with a lot of doctors, and I've never seen a CV as powerful and as big as yours. So I would say just give it some time, and what you're obviously not going to get all of them, but if it comes up out of that, put it down, because use your inner guide and what's going to be important. Does that make sense? Don't get hung up in the overwhelm. Just use what you can that connects with what you're doing.
I'll pull out what I think are gems that are relevant. Yeah. So the other thing is, I just want to bring up real quick that we're starting our, as Charlene said, we're starting our stress and pain-free living seminars and programs in the Orlando Celebration area at Advent Health Celebration Hospital starting Thursday, May the 16th. And we have single sessions going on from the Thursday through the following Monday, the 21st, I think is the Monday. And so if any of you know people who are experiencing chronic pain or have some stress and stress-related conditions, which is many people, please let them know. I'm going to put the link in the chat area, so let them know that that's going on. And also, as Shannon mentioned, we want to build a small, effective volunteer team, and the volunteer team will have access to all of our, pain relieving, pain eliminating technology. So that's the value of somebody who's got some pain and wants to volunteer with us and learn about what we do and get access to all of that content. So that's what I wanted to say about that.
Beautiful. Thank you, Bob. And you don't have to be physically at the event to volunteer. Just to let you know, one of the things we talked about with volunteering is that having people help before and after on marketing, because I was saying you could have a volunteer submit press releases and contact the media. So you even if you're in another area and you have physical pain and you would like to work with Dr. Bob, just consider that there's some. Okay, David, who could teach a lot of this.
I doubt that. You do such a phenomenal job. I don't have much to say. I've worked with Media Magic. This is, I think, my second time or third time, and I'm still not finished with it. You've seen my story, and it's my power dump or whatever it's called, and pulling what makes sense out of there is difficult for me. But a lot of the things of mine are decades old, and I don't know how much of that is relevant anymore. I've worked with arm in arm with presidents and sheiks and sultans and you name it in an embassy environment. But that was so long ago. Does it make sense to even use it?
Yes, because what it does, David, is it adds, it tells us about you, and it adds that credibility. So everything that we've done is for a reason. And especially, I had no idea, David. Like, did anybody else know that about David? No. Okay, Heshi did. And maybe you told me and I didn't pay attention, but now I'm like, holy cow. Yes, that's going to have, when people are making a decision between 3 or 4 different choices, you're going to stand out having that in there. So please don't let time date it. Let us help you pull together what's there and include those things, because that to me sounds very significant and will make people stop and pay attention.
All right, I will do that. Thanks. And as you can hear, I am still sick. It's been a long week.
We love you, David. Feel better. Okay, Miss Karen, the creator of the awesome Business Acceleration magazine and Inside Out, and we love you. We actually have media here. To me, she is the media. Produced over 54 in Science to Sage magazine. She's done events. Karen, thank you for being here.
Thank you, because it's an important time for me since I'm launching the book, and that's something I haven't done before. So I'm grateful. So I'm sitting here, and I've got the power bio. I've got somebody who wrote a press release, which was the person from CEO Space, the Randy Kaiser. And I'm just collecting. And Christina, if you have any more images, because I have Zippo of me, like, what do you call it, in action? So from the summit, I would be grateful, because I don't have one of those. I do have the proverbial headshot. And other than that, I've been working it this weekend and just kind of seeing what works and what doesn't work. So that's good. So and actually, Heshi and everybody else and who's put me up and reposted on Facebook, thank you so much. I'm very, very grateful. And so everything helps.
Tell them what we're celebrating and what was posted on Facebook, because that's a pretty big deal.
The book won a science award. So in the independent publishing arena, the book won for silver medal in science. So that is a biggie for me. I mean, it's actually kind of, I think for all the people who are in the book, it has 60 scientists and stuff in it, and it's all picture books. So yeah, that was exciting.
It's fantastic. Well done. Well done.
I'm trying to give a little leverage on that and get the book finished printing so I can deliver what I've said. But it is, yeah, that's exciting, because it's kind of funny. It just gives it more clout, and just to see people who are actually going, holy cow, how'd she do that? I think the big one, I'll be honest, is my mother. It's like, don't talk about it. Don't show me. I don't want to know about it. Put it in the closet. When are you ever going to be done? And so now it's like, I think of all of them, that's the funniest of all. So anyway, thank you, everybody.
And Karen, and I'm going to speak to everybody. What Karen just did is completed one of the items on your expert power bio. So in those questions, it does ask, have you had any awards or accolades for what you're doing or who you are? And a lot of times that's blank, which is fine. And if it's blank, then just like what Karen did, we can actually look at what you're doing and go, how can we get you nominated? Because even a nomination can add credibility. I was nominated for the Governor's Award of Florida, for the state of Florida. So that's something that as I started going through this process going, wow, that sounds pretty significant. So part of why we do the awards at the Business Acceleration Summit is to be able to use that to help people elevate through awards and recognition. So if that's blank in that process, that may be another thing when you're developing your media list to look at and go, where can I have somebody from the community nominate me, or where is an award that I might be able to get recognized for with what I'm doing? Because Karen, this is really, it's awesome. It's going to catapult you in a big way.
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah. It gave me a nice phone call on Sunday with somebody who I won't say as yet, and it may be very interesting.
Yay!
So yeah, who knows? You know, it's like the Wild Toad's Wild Ride. So
Okay, Dr. Liddy.
Hi, everyone. I apologize for my video not working. I didn't realize I had a video challenge. So my apology. I'll try to get that fixed before the call later today. As you guys know, I am an academic who has, for the past few years, have clients that I provide legal and financial services to. I don't have any social media presence at all. I barely post on Facebook, and I do have a website, and that was really through clients that insisted on having something other than my voice on the telephone. So I am going to do my homework very diligently, and I ask for all of your advice and support and comments as I work through this process of taking the knowledge out of my head and putting it on paper and putting it up to the social media work. So thank you for everybody being here. And I will be reaching out to most of you. So be kind. Thank you. And honest, because I want to be really good at this. I'm committed to that space. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Liddy. I'm gonna just add my 2 cents on social media. This particular course is not so much focused on social media.
Okay.
We do have our speaker, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. And each of you might want to comment on the poll. She is a social media expert, a conversion expert from social media. She's a millennial, which we love learning from these millennials. And so this is like Dr. Liddy, I see maybe you getting featured in Wall Street Journal, or it still impacts social media. We share it on social media, but we're looking to get you on in media beyond somewhere where it's always free. Does that make sense? Like social media is free and that's easy to post, but getting in Wall Street Journal is a little bit harder. Or getting into where are you at? Where's your biggest paper?
I'm sorry, the volume went out just a little bit, probably on my end. Where is my biggest
newspaper? Who's the biggest newspaper or TV station in your area?
In South Florida. Well, I'm in 2 places. So I'm both in New York, and I'm in South Florida. So I've been published in the Wall Street Journal. I've had articles written about me, or an article, not in the plural, and one in the New York Times as well. But like David, that was years ago. That complete securities arbitration work on behalf of investors. And you know, I used to work for Elliot Spitzer. I was written in USA Today as being, you know, the financial regulator on Wall Street that the banks need to be careful of. So I've had a little tiny bit, but that's when I was in practice, not since I've been teaching for the past 12, 14 years. But like David, I've got some dated stuff, but I've been in some of the few major financial papers.
This is awesome. So we can leverage that to get more now. And get it. So please include all of that if you can get those.
Yeah, I'll pull those. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Perfect. Okay, is anything else, Dr. Liddy?
No, I'm just really excited that I'm able to participate. I mean, this has been a passion of mine, and thank you so much for giving me a space where I can grow into my passion. So thank you.
Thank you for being here. We need more attorneys like you.
Thank you.
All right, Heshi.
Good morning. One of the, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So one of the good things from Media Magic is that I found someone who will probably join Trailblazers. We've been talking about it, but I was also able to give, hopefully, Liddy a client that I met at Media Magic, which was really like fun because all of us could be giving each other leads for
Agreed.
So
Yeah.
that's like pretty exciting. Anyway, I'm having a challenge with the fact that my jet netting website, my speaking website, was actually lost by GoDaddy, and I have no speaking website right now. I loved what I had. I have my Kids Better World, which is what I'm focusing on. The question becomes, how do I match all of my speaking? Because I've got tons of I don't know, awards and stuff I can be using for media, but the water is where I'm going. So I'm not quite sure how to add all of that kind of background on what I'm doing with the children. I mean, I do have tons of work that I've done with children, but not necessarily with the water. And I want to concentrate after the Saturday at your place, talking about changing my market and really going for what's going on in our country and everything. I'm just really confused about what I need to do with my website. That's one thing.
So can I talk to that for a minute? Is that okay?
Please.
Okay. So there is a way to still see and get access to what was on the website. There's a history, and David, you may know what it is, but I've lost things before, and I've had experts. And if David, if you don't know how to find it, I'll reach out to JP Maroney, who is one of our speakers. He's the one that, because I told him, I said, oh my gosh, my Conscious Living Partnership website's been down for 6 years. He actually went back and was able to pull up every single page on some history thing. And that, David, do you know how to do that?
I personally do not. I know that JP does. And my partner, who is a data scientist, may, but I have never done that.
Okay.
So
we might be able to find that. So for this process, you're going to be going after sponsors.
Yeah, but I need to have sponsors.
I need to invest in you. So you do have to make this process right now about you and what you've accomplished and what you've done. And if you look at my bio, there's different paragraphs. One's about events, one's about helping raise capital, one's about marketing. So we can put them in compartments when we do the longer one, but right now, just focus on you because you are raising sponsors and they want to know who they're giving the money to and why they can trust them.
Okay, so does that mean putting up a different kind of website?
Right now, I think with your website, I don't know what you had before, but I'm a big advocate on having a personal website about you. And
Okay.
So that I would have to get a little more information, but I think Christina should have a website about her. Karen should have a website about her. I mean, it's just good as you change and move in your life and your business that there's a home base that people can find you, and it's a personal brand.
So is it almost like a who is Heshy? Who is Christina? Who is Karen? Who is whatever?
I would do your name.
And that is separate from the business website?
Yes.
Or can it be a page on the business website?
I think you're missing the boat if you only page. Because what happened, and I'm speaking, and I had people telling me, because I've always loved promoting other people. That's been my passion. And so I never had my own website. And then when my company closed, it was like starting. And so that's why if you have, Christina Stewart, if Christina Stewart goes into a different line of business, then they always can follow Christina Stewart.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
I have Shannon Gronich and I have the Business Acceleration Network, and you can connect them. You can have on the business page an about that goes there, but just for personal branding, I'm an advocate of having your own personal page.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so I have heshysiegel.com, so I can do something along those lines. The other thing that I want to deal with is I do want to launch officially Purity for Humanity on May 1st. So there's like a lot of work to do between now and next week of putting out emails to people. David and I are going to work on some of that, but that's the support that I need is to get the word out that I am going to launch that day.
So join the mastermind today. So the mastermind Mondays from 1 to 2 is our open public, reach the world. You know, we get 100, we've even had some close to 1,000 that come on, just we can track on YouTube with the replays. So that's the place to come and get in the hot seat. When, you know, when we say who has something on a mastermind, like raise your hand when you first get in there or put it up, because we usually only get 3 people and it's first come, first serve. And I have to tell you, the last few weeks, people have not jumped in the hot seat. So it is timed. So you need to be quick, clear, and concise, but that's a great place for you to get help, not only in our community and beyond.
Okay, so can I raise my hand now?
We're doing mastermind now. We're doing
No. I mean for this afternoon. I can hear Liddy laughing.
All right, Karen, and then we got to get to Warner, and then we're almost done.
Give me a call. I have a ton of stuff on water.
Okay, what's your phone number, Karen?
509 475 7517.
I wanted to talk to you about the water anyway, because I love your book.
Yeah, but I've done about 4 issues exclusively on water.
Okay.
And I've interviewed like 30 of them on water.
Okay.
Some of the best in the world. So do call me.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Welcome.
Awesome. I love you, Heshi.
I love you too.
All right, Werner.
We really love your passion and your authenticity in terms of wanting to help each of us, but also for the subject matter. I'm really looking forward to the 12 other questions. You get to work.
Beautiful. I will get that out to you. And just so you guys know, I give it away for free on my website. It is my opt-in. If you're ever talking to anybody and you get through the process and you love it, you can say, go to our website. I give away the questions and the steps for free at shannongronich.com. But Warner, are you in our Trailblazers group on Facebook?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so I did add you, so make sure you go in and join because that's where I'm going to be posting everything.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Anything else, Warner?
No, that's it for now.
Okay, so I'm going to just add one more thing in your media kit, because I know there are a few of you that are looking for sponsors or might want to consider looking for sponsors, or Dr. Bob, with your event, you might consider a media sponsor. I know may not be looking for a paying sponsor, but this sponsorship could be something that you also consider adding to your media kit, or at least when we're going through this process, I'm okay with adding comments along that, because if that's part of one of your offerings, then pull that together in this process. I had a radio station, an FM station down in Fort Lauderdale, well, in Miami, and I think it was like 91.5. They gave me they way over delivered. I gave them a $10,000 media sponsorship, and they gave me $55,000 in media. It was incredible. So even if you're not doing any sort of sponsorship, like if you don't see that as part of your business model, I think single one of you may want to consider that. And we'll do some more training on that as we go along. But I see every single one of you a candidate to be able to leverage this sponsorship vehicle.
By the way, Shannon, I already talked earlier, but I just wanted to thank you so much for having the conversation with me about building a volunteer team. It was incredible, because, you know, I've never had to assemble a volunteer team for all the programs I've done, hundreds and hundreds of programs, and I've almost never had to market a program. So to have you as a resource for information is so valuable to me. I've already, based on what you said, I've already had people who are interested in volunteering. Yeah, it's fantastic. And that's going to be great for those people because they're going to get access to, all of our technology, all of our chronic pain elimination stuff, and really what I consider to be a longevity program, because what we teach is all about healthy longevity. So thank you for having that conversation with me. Very valuable.
Beautiful. Well, I am so honored you guys are choosing Monday morning to be here for Media Magic, and I love each one of you. And my greatest success over the next 60 days is getting you booked. So please, if you can follow me on this journey and get your homework done, I promise you we will get you booked, and it's going to be amazing. So I love you guys. Hopefully I'll see you on Mastermind Monday, 1 to 2, and we're going to start right at 1 o'clock. See you soon. Bye for now.
Everybody.
Oh, whoa. Make sure if somebody wants to save the chat, they do it before you stop the video. So if anybody wants to save the chat, they should go to more and say save chat. Thank you for letting me delay your departure for a moment.
Anytime.
You have any images?
Say that again.
Christina, please check if she has any images.
Yeah, aren't you in the Business Acceleration Summit Dropbox group? I can add more in there. I'll put a folder in there of you in there.
You're amazing, Christina.
Thank you.
Yay, Christina!
Let me know when you've done it, and then I can check it. That'd be great.
Yeah, I think do I have your phone number? Because I can text you when I load it. Because it'll take some time for me to go through, so it won't be today. But this week is what I'm working on, that kind of stuff. So
Okay.
I'll do a separate folder for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. Love you guys. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Christina, this is Bob. Give me a call.